For this Brawl Stars video, I'm going to put every brawler up against a level 25 siege bot. At level 25, the bot has 45,000 health, moves incredibly fast, and each attack does 1,700 damage, which means that it can take out every brawler in just a matter of seconds. Each brawler is allowed to have one pre-charged super and can use any gadgets, star powers, or other abilities that might help them defend against this bot. We're gonna start off with the brawlers that do the worst against the bot, and work our way up to the brawlers that do the best at defending against this bot. Byron is the worst out of all of the brawlers against the level 25 siege bot. He does little damage and doesn't have very much health, so he can't tank more than just a couple of shots, even with the help of his healing super. He loses the turret when the bot still has over 6,000 health, which places him in last place out of the 47 brawlers in the game. Serge does not do much better. I even gave him an unfair advantage by letting him be fully upgraded and still have a super loaded that he could use. Now, walls aren't allowed when facing the boss, and Serge's split shot doesn't help him, which means that he really struggles to deal damage or slow the boss down. He loses when the bot has 5,500 HP left, which means that he's in second to last place. Sandy does just a bit better, but only because he uses his gadget to heal himself up so he can tank a few more shots against the bot. Because the boss does so much damage with each attack, it's really risky to tank too many shots from the boss. Despite almost dying, Sandy's low damaging attack just isn't enough against the boss and he takes third to last place. I actually tried several different methods to try and get a higher score with Mortis, but what ended up working best was literally for Mortis to die twice, because his attacks deal less damage than the defending turret. Now, I don't normally allow a brawler to die versus the bot in this Olympics video, but I made an exception for Mortis because he really can't deal any damage to the boss without dying. Mortis places 44th place. Poco deals almost no damage, but at least he has a few ways that he can heal himself, which allows him to tank plenty of shots. With his super and gadget, he holds out as long as possible, but the boss still takes out the Ike turret with over 3,000 remaining health on the boss. Poco ends up placing 43rd when compared to all other brawlers. Unfortunately for Sprout, I am not allowed to put up walls when it is facing the siege bot. It's still able to postpone the bot a bit by using its super, and using its gadget to replace the walls helps a bit too. Sprout only takes 42nd place, but I should mention that on most siege maps, Sprout could actually do significantly better with a well-placed super. Next is a three-way tie for 39th, starting with Stu. Stu uses his gadget to tank a couple of shots, every bit helps, plus he can use his super to push the bot back a bit. He almost dies in the process, but is able to barely take out the bot with a remaining 2% health on the turret. Next is Squeak, who starts out with a super long-range attack thanks to his gadget. Now, Squeak has a super slow reload speed, but his super can deal a ton of damage if it's placed correctly. Squeak is also able to take out the siege bot right before it deals the finishing blow to the turret. B uses her gadget to slow down the boss as much as possible. She also gets to use her super, which keeps the bot within range of the defending turret for longer. Now, a third turret is used to body block one shot from the boss, and B is able to take out the boss with only 1,000 health remaining on the turret, which ties B with Squeak and Stu for 39th place. Next is a six-way tie between Edgar and 5 other brawlers for 33rd place. Edgar's self-healing does not work against the boss, which means that he can't tank very much damage from it. I should mention that I could have used his super and star power to deal a little bit more damage, but I didn't want to risk dying with Edgar. Edgar takes out the boss with 7% health remaining on the turret. Colette uses her gadget to double damage on the boss for a couple of attacks. You might be surprised to know that her push it star power actually does not work on the siege bot, so her better option is using her shielding star power to help tank as much damage as possible. Colette takes out the boss with 7% health remaining. Now, I gave Colonel Ruffs an unfair advantage by starting out being powered up with his super and giving him another super to use on the boss. Technically, the boss died when the turret had 2% health left, but Colonel Ruffs had enough remaining health that he could have tanked one more shot from the boss, so to make up for human error, I added it to his score. Because of this, Colonel Ruffs ties with Edgar and Colette for 33rd place. Barley's able to use his gadget a couple of times to slow the boss down, but he actually does better if he waits until the boss is closer to the turret, so it has more time to deal a ton of damage. Barley also waits to put his super down so that it deals maximum damage against the boss as well. He's able to take out the boss with 7% remaining health on the turret, which ties him for 33rd place. Amber uses her super and unloads all of her ammo in one go. Her gadget helps her get away from the boss, and thanks to her Scorch and Siphon star power, she's able to reload her ammo 50% faster. Amber deals plenty of damage with her attack, which means she ties for 33rd place even though she's not able to slow down the boss very much. Carl uses his Heat Ejector gadget to deal a little additional damage against the bot, and his Protective Pirouette star power to shield him while the bot takes damage from the Ike turret. Now I also tried to position Carl so that his attacks would bounce off the wall so he could reload a little bit sooner, but I don't actually think that it helped him very much. Carl also ties with the last 5 brawlers for 33rd place. Brock is able to use his Rocket Fuel gadget and Incendiary star power to deal as much damage as possible to the boss. Now for a super, I tried to aim it perfectly so that it would deal damage with as many rockets as possible. Brock is able to take the boss out with 12% remaining on the safe, which places him in 32nd. Rosa has a really short range, so she has to fall back a bit earlier than most of the brawlers. She shields as soon as the boss is within range of the turret and places some bushes to help recuperate a little bit of extra health. I wasn't able to pull things off perfectly with Rosa, so even though she only has 12% health remaining on her turret, I actually scored her a bit higher at 17%, so she ties with the next 2 brawlers for 29th place. Mr. P uses his Porter Reinforcements gadget and super to spawn as many porters as possible. This allows Mr. P to increase his damage, which turns out to be better than sacrificing the porters to the bot. At the end, Mr. P could have soaked up 1 additional hit from the bot, so I gave him a score of 17% health remaining, which ties him with Rosa. Now the biggest benefit that Leon has is his Clone Projector gadget to distract the bot so that the turret can deal the damage. Leon can also use his Invisiheal star power to help him tank some additional hits as well, but I was pretty cautious around the bot because it can take Leon out in 1.5 seconds. Leon ties with Rosa and Mr. P for 29th place with 17% health remaining. Now Fertilizer doesn't actually heal Spike quickly enough for him to be able to tank any additional shots from the boss, so I used Curveball to try and hit as many projectiles on the bot as possible. His gadget helps as well, and Spike's super slows the boss down, which helps a lot. And I actually didn't use Spike to tank any hits, so I added that to his final score of 22% health remaining on the turret. Now unfortunately, Penny's splash damage is ineffective against the boss. However, she can use her turret for some additional damage, but the real damage comes from using her Pocket Detonator gadget, coupled with her Last Blast star power to send a ton of cannonballs the bot's way. Penny ties with Spike as well as 2 other brawlers for 22% health remaining. Jackie starts out by throwing down a few attacks and then uses her gadget to run away. She's able to buy some more time by pulling the bot away using her super, and Jackie's Hardy Hard Hat star power actually doesn't allow her to tank any additional hits from the boss, so her Counter Crush star power is actually the better option to use. Jackie sits in a 4-way tie for 25th place because I could have tanked 1 additional shot with her. BB starts out by using her knockback ability a couple of times to stall the boss so that the Ike turret can deal more damage. Now, although her super only hits twice here, I should mention that BB's super can be much more effective on certain siege maps. BB's the 4th brawler to tie for 25th place, leaving 22% health remaining. Run and Gun is the best choice for Max's star power to help her killing the boss. Her Sneaky Sneakers gadget also lets Max tank in just a few more hits from the boss. However, I was only able to use her gadget once. Max leaves the turret with 27% health remaining, creating a 2-way tie for 23rd place. Now I actually tried every star power and gadget combination for Anita, and her Bear Paws gadget with her Hyper Bear star power ended up being the best by far. This honestly turns Bruce into the star of the show. I could have done some body blocking with Nita, so I just did the math, and the turret would have ended up with 27% health remaining, which ties her for 23rd place. Now staying as far away as possible from the boss is very important for Piper, so her auto aimer gadget is definitely the best choice. Once the boss gets to the Ike machine, Piper supers away to maximize damage with her attacks, and you'll notice that she's actually using her Snappy Sniping star power to help her reload quicker. Piper places 20th place with 32% health remaining. Since each brawler is only allowed to use 1 super, the best thing for Jessie to do is wait until the boss is right on the Ike turret, and then activate her Recoil Spring gadget so that Scrappy can unload on the boss. I tried using her other gadget and star power, but this proved to be the best option for Jessie. Jessie also places 20th with 32% health remaining. Now, similar to Piper, the right amount of distance from the bot is key for maximum damage for Ems. Clearly, Ems does not have the hots for this bot because she uses her gadget to friend zone the boss 3 different times. Ems' super slows him down to add a little extra damage as well, and Ems is able to finish off the bot with 32% health remaining, which completes this 3-way tie for 20th place. We are halfway through all of the brawlers, which means that everyone we've talked about was below average, and everyone we're about to cover is above average. If you guys want to be above average, make sure you guys subscribe for future Brawl Stars videos. Rico's main attack deals a lot of damage, but the goal is to use his super bouncy star power to increase damage once the boss gets close enough to the lower wall, which is exactly what Rico saves his super for. Now, Rico's gadget dealt minimal damage in this scenario, but it could be more against a lower level bot that wouldn't take you out so quickly. Rico defeated the boss with 36% health remaining, tying with our next brawler for 18th place. Now, Bull packs a punch with each ammo, but only if he is right next to the enemy. Once the bot is distracted by the turret, Bull was able to get close enough to deal maximum damage, and with the help of his Berserker star power, he's able to unload a lot of damage. Bull rages his way to 18th place with 36% health remaining. Now, after trying both gadgets with Crow, I found that Defense Booster was actually better than Crow's Slowing Toxin because it allows Crow to land directly on the bot to deal insane damage without dying. His extra toxic star power decreases the bot's damage output by 25% as well, which gives Crow a huge advantage. Crow finishes off the bot with 38% health remaining, which ties him with the next brawler for 16th place. Now, just like Bull, Nani has a very powerful shot, but she's able to start dealing damage much further away. Like I said, I don't normally allow brawlers to die for this test, but I made an exception for Nani because Tempered Steel is very effective for stalling the boss. Nani ends up tying with Crow with 38% health remaining at 16th place. Shelly deals most damage up close, obviously, which means that her fast forward gadget is useful because it allows her to safely stay close to the boss for that additional damage. Shelly's super knocks the boss back, does a ton of damage, and then slows him down thanks to her Shell Shock star power. This is super useful because it allows the Ike turret to deal a ton of extra damage. Shelly blasts her way to a 4-way tie for 12th place. Now, Lou's super is one of the Siege bot's worst nightmares. On a map with walls that causes the bot to change directions, Lou's super can literally leave a bot helpless inside the range of an Ike turret for several seconds. Even without walls though, Lou does very well because he can freeze the bot twice. Lou ends up defeating the boss with 41% health remaining, tying with Shelly and our next two brawlers for 12th place. Using Gene's super and his lamp blowout gadget, Gene can push and pull a level 25 Siege bot like, well, a genie. Now, it's best to wait as long as possible before pulling the bot away from the Ike, not only so you can get the most damage out of the turret as possible, but also to utilize Gene's Spirit Slap star power. Gene also ties for 12th place. Now, this is an unusually good enemy for Gale because all 6 of his shots are able to hit the bot, which deals a ton of damage. Unfortunately, Gale's spring gadget does not affect the boss. It would probably be first place if it did, but his super still does a fine job at pushing the bot back to buy him a little bit of extra time. Gale is the 4th brawler to tie for 12th place, leaving 41% health remaining. Now, Tick gets to cheat a little bit because of his immunity shield that he gets from his Last Hurrah gadget. Plus, it knocks the bot back, and so does his super, which gives the turret more time to deal damage to the boss. Using his automatic reload star power also helps add DPS against the bot, and Tick ends up tying with the next brawler for 10th place with 46% health remaining. Now, Bo actually uses his super totem gadget to tank a little bit from the boss. Every little bit helps, but his super is actually why he places so high. All 3 of his mines hit the boss for big damage, and his Snare Bear star power stuns it for 2 entire seconds, which gives him a big advantage. With 46% health remaining, Bo ties with Tick for 10th place. We are down to the final 10 brawlers. Let's see if you guys know which brawler is going to get first. Rumor has it the only Brawl Stars masters that use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop will know.
KAIROS, code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop.
Now, El Primo has everything that you need for this Olympics event. He puts out high damage, his reload speed is really fast, and his super even knocks the boss back a few steps. Additionally, El Primo's Suplex supplement buys him even more time by throwing the bot over his shoulder. El Primo could have tanked 1 more hit, so he takes 9th place with 51% health remaining on the turret. Now, thanks to the healing from her super and her pulse modulator gadget, Pam can stall for a significant amount of time just with her health alone. On top of that, she absolutely shreds enemies at close range because of all the projectiles that are fired with each ammo. Her Mama Squeeze star power even deals a little bit of damage too. In the end, Pam could have tanked 1 more hit, so she ties with several other brawlers for 5th place with 56% health remaining. Now, Frank has a hard time keeping up with the boss since his attacks completely stop him in his place. He makes up for it though with his super that stuns the bot and his irresistible attraction gadget, which pulls the bot away from the turret. I mean, Who could resist a face like Frank's, right? His sponge star power helps him tank one additional hit, which I failed to fully utilize. However, I added that to his final score, so Frank takes 5th place with 56% health remaining. Daryl's tar barrel gadget is fantastic since it slows the boss down for 5 seconds and safely keeps Daryl close to the boss so he can maximize damage. Now Daryl waits until the bot gets within range of the Ike turret to bounce it back with a super, and then rolling reload makes it very easy to finish him off quickly. Daryl ties with Frank, Pam, and the next brawler for 5th place. Belle starts with her super because it increases all damage dealt to the bot, including damage from the turret. Her gadget helps by slowing the bot down as well. Additionally, Belle's positive feedback star power allows her to tank just a couple of hits from the bot, which allows Belle to tie with the last 3 brawlers for 5th place. Next is a 3-way tie for 2nd place, starting with Tara. Tara's attack damage is fine, but where she really thrives is pulling the bot away with her super and using her support from beyond gadget. Each clone that Tara summons with her gadget takes an attack from the bot to take out, and then her black portal star power shadow takes 2 attacks, which is why Tara does so well. Tara is able to stall her way all the way up to 2nd place, leaving 61% health remaining. Now to get the most out of his satchel charge gadget, it's the first thing that Dynamite uses so that he can have another one ready when the boss is within range of the Ike turret. His super deals some additional damage thanks to his demolition star power and pushes the boss back, which buys Dynamite enough time to use a 3rd satchel charge. Another reminder that the siege bots are fast and not to miss your throws. Dynamite ties for 2nd place with 61% health remaining. Colt can fire so many rounds that deal so much damage that he just annihilates the boss. Plus his speed loader gadget just adds to the Bulletstorm, which pretty much means that Colt never stops firing at the boss. Colt is the last brawler that ties for 2nd place with 61% health remaining. We are down to the final brawler, the king of defense in Siege. Let's see if you remember which brawler's remaining. Similar to Colt, 8-Bit shoots just as many rounds, and his extra credit gadget allows him to shoot 3 times as many bullets in one shot. Now his super only lasted a short period of time, and I didn't fully utilize 8-Bit's health, but if I had, he would have finished off the boss with a whopping 70% health remaining on the Ike turret. And that means that 8-Bit is crowned the champion out of all brawlers when facing a level 25 Siege bot. If you enjoyed watching this video, I'd really appreciate you guys giving it a thumbs up so that YouTube is more likely to share it with others. And now that the video's over, you should watch more videos right here. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.